Bem-vindo a mais umas notícias agora, hoje com The Us. Esta notícia de Us. Vamos ter aqui, temos aqui já publicações novas de vídeos de gameplays a falar sobre o jogo. Vamos já à notícia. E temos aqui, Us é considerado um dos RPGs de ação mais originais criativos de 2025. Temos aqui esta notícia que falar do jogo, não é? da Namco, anunciou oficialmente o mais novo projeto do Us, que tem trazido alguns vídeos acerca do Us, alguns comentários da Us, e vejam no outro canal que tem mais tempo, o R-Games Play Forever, que eu tenho falado na rubrica do R-Games Reacts, tenho falado sobre o da Us. Vejam lá, que vale mesmo a pena. Agora temos informações novas do Us. Temos a Us, tem uma proposta diferente e não terá mapas, ou seja, neste jogo não vamos ter mapas, não vamos ter guias, temos que ir à procura de pistas. É um jogo diferente, é um Souls-like de ação, em que não temos nada, temos que ir à procura, é uma proposta de exploração e de ir à procura sem nada. É um jogo diferente daqueles que estamos habituados a ver, apesar de ser um Souls-like. Sim, tem muita ambientação, muita coisa de Souls-like. Aqui temos eles dizem que impressiona pelos visuais e atmosfera. Tem uma abordagem tradicional de aventura que parece momentos, alguns momentos. E temos aqui estes vídeos que eu vou já pôr de seguida para vocês, com comentários de produtores, etc., a falarem sobre o jogo, com gameplay a falar sobre o jogo. Está muito fixe mesmo. Espero que vocês vejam, vale mesmo muito a pena. É um jogo que irei trazer para o canal, sai dia 4 de setembro, vou trazer para o canal o jogo, vou fazer série, espero fazer série do jogo. E não percam que em breve vou trazer também para o canal uma demonstração de Us. Vou trazer agora primeiro estes gameplays, estas experiências de outras pessoas, e nomeadamente de quem está a comandar o jogo, não é? De quem está a orientar o jogo, não é? Quem é o produtor do jogo. E depois de seguida, dentro de pouco tempo, vou fazer uma demonstração para vocês aqui no canal. Espero que gostem. Mas pronto, vou-vos deixar aqui com 2 vídeos de gameplay sobre o The Us, a falar sobre o The Us, a falar sobre a temática. Só vos digo que é um jogo extremamente, muito mesmo original. Tem algumas temáticas como Souls-like, é um jogo de aventura, mas não temos mapa. Andamos aqui a explorar isto, temos que fazer também de detetives, não é? É um jogo que vale mesmo muito a pena. Portanto, vou-vos deixar aqui com os vídeos. Não saiam daí. Muito obrigado por terem estado desse lado. Deixem o like, subscrevam o canal se não forem subscritos. É um canal recente e precisa muito do vosso apoio, é muito importante. E a vocês, muito obrigado e fui! Vejam os vídeos, não percam.
Something of an enigma. As an action RPG that hones in on detective-style investigations within a hauntingly alluring world filled with weird monsters to explore, it's a type of game that tasks players to meet it on its strange and unorthodox terms. For its developers, Us also represents a game that pushes back against contemporary trends of gaming that places its story and gameplay in a neat package and instead trusts players to piece together just what the hell is going on within the corrupted land of Hadia and how to survive it.
I don't know how you managed to get here, and I don't care.
After playing several hours of the opening of Us, along with some mid-game dungeon crawling, I came away with a clearer idea of developer Rogue Factor's new weird influence take on an action-adventure game that pushes players to mind the finer details of the world and maintain poise during some of the intense engagements. So far, Us is a game that makes charting out into a familiar yet deeply alien world feel captivating. Hell Is Us takes place in an alternate 1990s, where the fictional European country Haiti is in the midst of a civil war following the events of a mysterious, supernatural incursion known as the Calamity. Playing as Remy, a United Nations peacekeeper and former resident of Haiti, he's detained by a mysterious organization following his mission into Haiti to find his parents. With the organization and its leader pressing down on Remy, he has to recall the fateful decisions he made with the surviving factions and how he fought off the seemingly otherworldly creatures known as Hollow Walkers. The main plot of Hell Is Us reminded me of a mix between Death Stranding and Prince of Persia: The Sands of Time, which focuses on immersing players into a world that takes a sudden and violent turn to the weird, and with a seemingly unreliable protagonist recounting his interpretation of events. Hell Is Us fully commits to its premise of a bleak setting and being a stranger in an even stranger land, one that feels familiar with its backwoods and small towns clinging onto survival, but feels so disorientingly strange with the rise of Hollow Walkers and portals that have turned the European countryside into an alien landscape.
They're either brave or stupid to have made a run for it. My money's on stupid.
What immediately drew me into Hell Is Us was its unusual approach to storytelling and immersing players within its strange world. The sense of mystery is palpable in Hell Is Us, and I was constantly walking into areas that had grotesque monsters or strange anomalies that drew my eye. I was especially taken in by the plight of the surviving characters, who struggled to endure in their ramshackle sanctuaries held together by duct tape and dwindling hope. This story very much chucks you into the deep end with its narrative and gameplay flow as you explore the different open zones filled with their puzzles and points of interest.
Why is this happening?
What I found most intriguing, and what I suspect many players will have to come to grips with, is how Hell Is Us takes a largely unguided approach to gathering intel and charting out to complete quests with no mini-maps or waypoints to help you in your trek. This very 90s adventure game approach puts the onus on players to listen to the details that the surviving characters bring up in conversations and read the well-organized intel from Remy's personal datapad. It's the type of game that demands a certain level of attention, or else you can find yourself wandering at length to figure out where to go next.
How the hell did you find us?
Outer Wilds is a particular example that inspired the development team for its approach to a largely unguided adventure game that gradually expands in scope as more players use their growing knowledge. Speaking with creative director Jonathan Jacques Belletet, the approach the devs took with Hell Is Us was about trusting players with figuring out the mystery and embracing the campaign's more methodical approach to progression.
You must be lost to wander around Sinedra Forest. I'm afraid I have very little to offer.
Hell Is Us is equal parts an investigation game and an action RPG, and there's a surprising amount of combat to engage with while you're on the desolate road. On the surface, Hell Is Us has the makings of a Souls-like, and it certainly has some of those elements under the hood, but it goes in a direction with combat and power progression that's more about managing your poise and picking out the best moments to strike against enemies that can easily take you out. Some of my favorite moments came using my powered-up weapons to dish out some chunky damage while sending in my drone to stun other enemies off in the wings. The Hollow Walkers in Hell Is Us are some of the most visually distinct and unnerving video game enemies I've seen in a long time. They're highly aggressive and can come in large numbers. Still, things get more unnerving once you face off against the powered-up walkers that can summon support enemies that were very much giving the Angels from Neon Genesis Evangelion vibes. Once those enemies appear, you'll have to switch up to take them down fast before you can finish off the main walker. Much like a Souls game, stamina management is critical for survival, and I found myself constantly having to be decisive with my skills so as not to overextend myself against unforgiving enemies. One interesting wrinkle that took me time to get used to was the fact that health and stamina share a single bar. With your health being your primary source, the more health you lose in a fight, the less stamina you'll have to fight. While you have limited health items, the limbic pulse skill is the best way to help you stay in the fight. Similar to Neo 1 and 2, activating the pulse immediately after seeing a glow around Remy will instantly restore health and stamina based on the attacks you dish out. It's a very risk-reward approach to combat, and depending on how intense the combat gets, it can be easy to forget to hit the pulse and lose out on health. I found the engagements surprisingly challenging and unrelenting, yet I still felt good about scraping through once I figured out how best to clear out the foes. Combat took the most time for me to get used to, as it's far more survival and resource driven than Dark Souls or Elden Ring. Some battles were so unforgiving that I felt unfairly outmatched by the numbers and aggression of the walkers. Still, I managed to rally and rethink my approach by going for it. According to the creative director, he likened their approach to combat with the act of boxing, which is also about managing stamina and dealing with decisive blows when you can. I was thoroughly impressed with the visuals and atmosphere of Hell Is Us, and it presents such a compelling yet still bizarre mix of fantasy and science fiction. Along with the other games mentioned, another piece of media that served as a key influence was Alex Garland's 2018 film Annihilation, which dealt with exploring an environment that underwent radical and violent change. It presents such an intriguing setting, but at times, the hardened and traditional adventure game approach Hell Is Us takes to taking in the details and surviving this world felt a bit too stoic for its own good. Still, I was very invested in the bizarre, new weird setting that Rogue Factor has crafted, and it so far has the makings of being one of 2025's more original and creative takes on the action RPG experience. Given that this year saw the rise of Blue Prince's reinvention of a roguelite puzzle adventure, it'd be fitting for Hell Is Us to succeed with its own reinvention with its new type of role-playing experience.
I've been excited for this game since I saw the very first trailer. The hashtag ad, basically, I got invited down to Paris. They paid for my my train and my hotel, just to be completely transparent. The game does come out on the 4th of September, 2025, on PS5, Xbox Series X and S, and PC. So in the video, you're going to see the sort of beginning of the game. There's like an initial cutscene, which I cut out. Basically, this is like a flashback. So you are entering an area called Hedia, I think that's how you say it. Probably said it wrong. But basically, this area is pretty hard to get into. So the fact you're even here, Remy's the main character on the screen right now. The fact you're even here is like, how did you get in? It's hard to get out, but it's harder to get in. And it looks like he's potentially being like a pretend, so like UN soldier. I don't know. Just guessing there. So I played the game for a couple of hours. The gameplay you're watching right now is mine, the first 15 minutes. And then at the end, we see a bit more later gameplay, some more combat. The combat is very intense. They've tried to stay away from it feeling like a Souls game, but it definitely has that kind of difficulty curve, maybe. I think there's difficulty options available. But yeah, the combat is pretty intense. So at the moment, I wasn't quite sure at first. I was like, the movement feels a bit floaty. The animations didn't quite look right. But I believe that is because we're not really in our combat form just yet. Which will, if you keep watching the video, you'll understand later on. Yes, so also in the game, there's no real guide, there's no real map, there's no like clear like, go here! Big yellow objective on the map. It's very much about you working out, using your surroundings, using a compass, for example, and finding the right route. This sort of reminds me a little bit of like Resident Evil when you pick up items. That sound, I don't know. Also, if you guys recognise the voice of Remy, let me know in the comments, because I'm sure I recognise it from somewhere. I don't know. Yeah, all Unreal 5, by the way. And there is going to be a demo on Steam. I'm going to double check the dates. On the 2nd of June for about, so that maybe like an hour, hour and a half. I don't quite know how that demo is going to play out. Is it going to be the start of the game? Is it going to be like a combat segment? Yeah, be interesting. But you see, this world has been absolutely savaged by civil war, and it's not a happy place. and where the story goes will be quite interesting. There's some very unique characters. The guy in the cutscene has clearly captured you in some way. The very start cutscene, and he's a very interesting looking character, quite intimidating. And yes, that is a cow. I don't know if I've mentioned this already, but it's an Unreal 5 game. I know a lot of you guys like and dislike Unreal 5, but performance seemed pretty solid. I was playing on a very decent PC. I didn't really notice any issues. You guys are watching that right now. I think the gameplay was 1080p though. That the recording was. I don't know why. Don't ask me why. Annoyingly, the B-roll is actually 4K. That's later on. So here I'm just looking around, taking all the environments in, working out where to go. And yeah, that's where we save. Down here we get the first person we can chat to. Conversations. So you can pick the topics. They may give you clues on the next objectives, or where to find certain objects that you may need to progress. Conversations are going to be quite important in the game. Also, you can trade.
You must be lost to wander around Sinedra Forest. I'm afraid I have very little to offer. You're welcome to stay and catch your breath. Frankly, I could use the company.
Who are you?
The name's Ernest Cadell.
I recognize it.
My family has tilled the earth here for generations. When the Sabinian army dug in for the winter, they used our home as their headquarters. I wasn't here at the time, but my sons were. When I finally came back, the Sabinians were long gone. They left my sons' bodies in the forest. My only solace is knowing that my fourth son might still be alive. I hope he finds his way home, if he's out there somewhere.
Where can I find the APC?
They parked their APC just beyond the woods, to the north. Once in the woods, follow the wind chimes. They will lead the way through. I hung them in the trees so my sons would stop getting lost when they were children. Setharus, bless their souls. The gate to enter the woods is locked. Here, take this key to unlock it.
Okay, we have the gate for the key for the gate. Worked out eventually. The conversations, you have to press X. I hate doing this in games. So you have to press X to continue the dialogue. It ruins the flow. If you're not fully paying attention, it just all stops.
Hey, Gus, Arlo, Otis.
Yeah, a little bit
Please
annoying.
pick up. It's Atticus.
But there we go.
I've been trying to call for days now. Phone lines keep going down, so I don't know when I'll be able to call you back, but I'll keep trying. Hey, don't go killing Sabs without me. See you soon.
I love those sort of audio logs. I think, was it Bioshock that started doing those first, maybe? Such a cool addition to a game. I love them so much. The fact you can sort of continue playing and taking some story, I love it. So this is part of the story is investigating leads and finding clues. So potentially we can find his son, for example. I can hear the chimes. Obviously, I can't just show you guys the full gameplay. It is a preview. I will probably check it out the demo. So I have to do some cuts here and there.
You found me.
This guy's in trouble.
Epsilon 12, right? I can't see shit. I have blood in my eyes. You must have honed in on my distress beacon.
I don't know if we are
Who are you?
Epsilon 12.
I'm Sifo 451, Epsilon 11. I got separated from my unit. They're still down there behind that door. We were on an SSC. We got jumped. Who has the APC key? The sergeant has the key. He's inside with the team. The Sarge is easy to spot. He's the one with a dark red poncho. Shit. I'm hurt pretty bad. I need to stop the bleeding. Look, we have a med kit in the camp we set up in the woods west of here. We marked the trees to make it easier to navigate. Bring me the medkit, and I'll give you what you need to open the door.
Okay, I'll bring you the medkit. So the APC is actually quite important. In this game, there's like different areas you go to. It's like a sort of semi-open world, I guess, in some ways. And use the APC to get you from point A to B, to new objectives, to new destinations. This way you have to deploy the compass, otherwise you will probably get a little bit lost. Again, the game doesn't really hold your hand in terms of exploration, pointing you in the right direction. It will let you find your way, I guess. Luckily though, I'm fairly good at navigation because I managed to find it. There it is. Medkit acquired. A few more clues around here.
Oh, good.
You
got the medkit.
I actually got lost on the way down, but anyway.
See that ladder over there?
Yep.
Climb it to the top.
Okay.
Take this. You'll need it to open the door. You'll figure it out.
Thank you for the key. So without the medkit, obviously we can get the key, and now we can try and hopefully sneak in. Fingers crossed. So again, even with this, it gives you a key, but then you got to work it out. It doesn't just open the door. Definitely not much hand holding, which can be quite daunting at times, because we're so used to being directed. What this says, I don't know. We will eventually work it out. Yeah, like so many games we play are very like clear. Like this is where you go. Yellow highlights everywhere, mission objectives. And when you swap to another game, it can be a little bit like, oh, okay, this is different. So I worked out we need to match up those patterns. There's also one on the floor on the other side, but we know what that is. I'm clearly double checking, just to make sure. There we go. We've done it. Success! So opens the door downstairs by the guy that's wounded. Oh, by the way, don't do what I am about to do right here. Top tip. There is full damage in the game. Yeah. Whoops. I will do better next time. So quite a bit of damage there as well. Not the best idea. And this is where it starts to really start, really. Like, this is where the game... Yeah. This is a pretty poignant cutscene in the game, in your journey as Remy. So we don't really know much about Remy at this point. Whether he's qualified in some way, is he a soldier? What is he looking for? Currently, I have no idea at this point in the game. Quite a few wounded soldiers on the floor. Absolutely slaughtered. Hello?
Hey, are you okay?
What
Hey!
is that? I don't think he's dead.
Fuck. What the fuck?
So that red thing is basically acting as a shield for the white. It's the best way to explain it. So you got to kill the red thing first, mate.
Hey!
for a small period of time. Brings you up. She's so unlucky. Oh my god. Yeah. What a way to die. I'd be, you stupid drone. You had one job. I believe the drone can only temporarily hold them, of course. I think that's partly why. Maybe she didn't quite account for the time. I feel really bad for this woman. We just taken her sword. She died saving us, and we're like, sure. Alright, I'll take the mental. You don't really hear about her anymore, that's it. Our first little bit of combat. This is the last bit you're going to see of me. Fine, so we can lock on. Again, similar to like a Dark Souls, or any game really, in third person. Actually, we don't have many skills and stuff yet, but watch that's about to change. Initially, the combat felt pretty manageable. So yeah, we've got the key now. So we skipped a bit there, of course. This is now B-roll. This is not me playing. It should be in beautiful 4K. The drone sits on top. And they're not very happy about us using this APC, but we don't really care. We are going to the destinations we want to get to. We're going to an area called Jova. I'm guessing the map keeps opening up. I'm guessing you can come back to previously visited locations. You're not locked in. But yeah, my overall first impressions are pretty solid at the moment. I quite enjoyed the game. I only played the game for like an hour, maybe 2 max. So it's hard to get a complete bearing on the game, but combat was quite fun. I'm intrigued by the story. There was a cutscene back there where someone's really angry. What are you doing with our APC? Who are you? Get out! Yeah, I know you guys. You're just like, no. I'm good, thanks. Leave me alone. Game looks pretty. Enemies look interesting. It doesn't really feel like a game I've sort of played before. It feels like a combination of multiple games. You can definitely tell it's Unreal 5. The thing with Unreal 5 is it going to suffer from like that sort of shuttery shader issue? Is it going to run okay on the Series S, for example? That's always the question marks with Unreal 5. Felt again fairly optimized from what I played.
Why is this happening? Camille. Oh, my baby. Anna, my baby girl.
Oh boy.
We got separated during the evacuation in Tulsi. The screaming, the panic, the smoke, pure chaos. I lost them in the crowd. I finally traced them back to Jova, but I'm too late. I'm too late. Oh, Camille, forgive me. I'm too late. Without one of their belongings, I can't even give them a proper Palamist burial.
Yeah, this place is not a happy place. There's a lot of grieving, a lot of bloodshed, a lot of war. You really have dropped yourself into it. It's not. By the way, the lighting in this game is very good. Yeah, where my initial impressions of the characters felt quite clanky with the, obviously like the poncho on. it seems to fit him quite well now. So yeah, my initial feelings about the animations and the walking and it did feel a bit off, but it's fine. Tanks, enemies just looted around. You can see him just operate, just walking around. Could you try and avoid them all? Maybe. Yeah, very pretty game. I remember that initial trailer, I was like, interesting game. I'm intrigued. There is these, they call them dungeons in the game. Don't know if we're about to visit one of these. Again, this is B-roll, so I apologise. What do you guys think of the poncho? This is the questions we need to ask. Yeah, I need to know where the voice is from. Who's the voice actor? Quickly researching that. There's quite a few enemies around here. You can actually freeze one with the drone for a temporary period of time. You've got block. You've got like a dodge as well. So what I've found is if I was attacking a lot, it would also affect my health. I'm going to keep an eye on that. So if my stamina gets too low, my health goes down as well. I'm not sure if that's true. Yeah, look, the health's definitely gone down. Whether that's linked to charge attack, whether we got hit, I don't know. We'll have to look into it. Yeah, some environments look so cool, like the details. Like a bomb's landing right on that house. Guessing this guy's about to be hanged. Not sure what for though.
Be upon you, my son. You're not from here, are you? I know everyone around here, and yet there is a way about you that is familiar to me.
Who are you?
I am Abbot Jaffer, the spiritual leader of Patham Abbey. My life started here, and it seems it will end here.
What's he done wrong?
I don't know where you are from, but I'm afraid you've wandered into hell.
Yeah, may have a point.
Do you know where I might find the blacksmith?
Even before all this started, he was off and gone. A dark burden weighed on him. I sincerely hope he has escaped Jova with the ON convoy. Pray, my son. Pray he hasn't been shipped off to the prison camps.
Did you happen to see where the convoy went?
Lieutenant Rue came to negotiate my release. Captain Voss would hear none of it. I heard their trucks leave the outpost this morning. Many roads lead outside the marsh. Sadly, my situation prevented me from seeing where they went.
Where's the ON outpost?
It's not far. Turn right, just before the blacksmith's forge. You should see it down the hill.
What happened here?
Madness and hatred happened here, and lots of it. When I finally managed to get back from Tulsi, I rushed to my brother's home only to find my niece Rebecca orphaned. Then the soldiers began to round up the villagers. When they kicked in the door, I told her to hide. I gave myself up.
Your niece, Rebecca, is she okay?
How long can a young child survive in these horrible conditions? Could you be so kind as to check in on her? The last time I saw her was in my brother's home. It's the building with the treehouse next to it.
I will look into it. I'll see what I can do. Yeah, got many leads and locations and people to discover there in just one conversation. I think conversation is going to be quite important. I think he might have a point now. I think we have definitely entered hell. map of the marshes. Uh-oh. I see an enemy right in front of us. Is there? There's the treehouse. Dun dun dun! We found it. I can't imagine Rebecca's just going to be sitting in her house going, hello! What a torrid day it is today. I do like how the drone sort of sits almost like a parrot companion on your shoulder. And yeah, it does. You can turn the torch on, which for me, honestly, the game's generally quite dark. Feels like most of the game's set at night, so the torch is quite useful. If you guys have got any questions about the game or any more like impressions and stuff, let me know if you guys want me to check out the demo as well. Again, I don't believe it's coming out on consoles. It will be like a sort of Steam exclusive. There's going to be a lot of demos coming. Next week's going to be mad. Put it that way. I did play some other games at this event, which I will touch on at a later date. So make sure you subscribe. Is this oh, she's here. I take it back. Are you Rebecca?
You're not a soldier, are you? Please don't tell anyone I'm here.
I mean, the light
Hey.
isn't great.
Who are you?
I'm Rebecca. I've been hiding here since the attack on Jova. The bombs fell from the sky. I was playing in the treehouse with my baby brother. Parents ran out and screamed at us to get down. My baby brother ran to them. That's when the bomb exploded.
So, I'm looking for the blacksmith. Do you know where he is?
I don't know him very well.
How does she know where the blacksmith is?
I think he doesn't like kids much. I saw some villagers leaving with the ON peacekeepers on their white trucks. Maybe he went with them.
Hey, did you see where the white trucks went?
I watched the white trucks drive away. They took the road that turns behind the hill with the ancient monuments. We can see them from here.
That's good intel. Okay. Thank you. We could have told her there that the priest will be fine. Do not worry about your uncle. Yeah. Oh, it's like a full family reunion here. Look, so you get 4 more. So there's 2 more people, is that? 2 more pieces of intel. Or items. And then we sort of reveal the inner keepings. That's the captain. I thought that's going to be quite an interesting part of the game. Trying to gather all the intel and work out clues. Now it's time for a bit more combat and a little bit of a new weapon as well. You get new weapons fairly early on. And you've got a few new abilities as well in the bottom right hand corner. Oh, there's a lot of enemies here. Holy smokes. There was a charge attack which I did quite often, which was just hold down triangle, I believe. The game does recommend you play with a controller. The game does, so anyway. Seems like this weapon's really good at taking down pools of enemies. Very wide range. Lovely spinning attacks. I'm glad this isn't me playing, because I get slaughtered in the comments. I'm pretty sure if you block at the right time, there is like a parry system in the game as well. I think. Don't quote me on that. I think I did that a few times. Whew. I feel like the game probably gives you like more health supplements and stuff as well compared to like a Dark Souls game, for example. So maybe a little bit more forgiving in that sense. But the combat is going to be a challenge. This is not going to be like a simple walkover, but maybe not as hard as like an Elden Ring or a Dark Souls, I guess.
Hey! Help! Over here! Yeah. In the maintenance room!
I see you.
Hey! Help!
You better have some intel for me.
In the maintenance room!
It's alright, I'm here. Calm down.
Thanks for the help. Wait. That necklace. You must be one of his friends.
Whose friends?
Who are you?
I'm Victor Gaz. I left Jova to look for my mentor Vitalis. My ears are still ringing from that damn explosion. The trucks must have driven over a mine or something. I pulled Lieutenant Rue out just in time. We're the only survivors. The explosion must have attracted the creatures. We hid in here until I could figure out a way back to Jova.
Who is Vitalis?
Vitalis is the blacksmith of Jova. I've been his apprentice for many years. I was an idiot to think I could go look for him. Recently, some agents came for him. You know, black suits, shades. Let's just say they didn't seem like the type to fuck around. Listen, maybe we could help each other. Take the key to Vitalis' home. I found a locked door in the basement, but couldn't figure out how to open it. Maybe you'll have better luck than I did. I'll come join you later. I need to make sure the lieutenant can make it back to Jova. I'll find a way to avoid the creatures.
Another key! So we are coming to...
Where's Vitalis' home?
Sorry.
The house is right in front of the forge in the northeastern part of Jova. You can't miss it. There's a blue swing in the tree next to the house.
So maybe we've been to that building already. Obviously we couldn't get in, but it's quite an important building. We've then finally found a key for it, and we can hopefully get in. But this is the end of the gameplay. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Again, any questions, let me know in the comments. Thanks to Nacon for inviting me down to Paddy's to play the game. And I'll probably be checking out the demo next week as well. So yeah, come back soon. Thank you guys for watching. Enjoy the rest of the gameplay. And bye-bye.